Talk some football. Welcome in former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt. Let's start with Tom Brady. Looked sharp in his preseason debut. After the game, though, talked about his 11-day break from training camp. Take a listen. Here's what the 7-time Super Bowl champ had to say.
It's all personal. Everyone's got different situations they're dealing with, so we all have really unique challenges to our life. And, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on, so, you just gotta try to figure out life the best you can. And, it's a continuous process.
Sounds like a lot of 45-year-olds I know. I'm 45-year-old. I got a lot of shit going on right now, right? It sounds like a lot of guys we know. Emory, what do you make of Brady's comments?
He basically said, "Hey, bro, I'm tired, man." He basically went Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon, like, "Hey, man, I'm too old for this." So I feel him. We're not as young as we used to be, Hakeem. I'm 41 years old, and I can't get out there and go run laps around a track anymore. I'm an avid walker now because why? I'm 41 years old. So I feel him on that, man. It just sounds like he's exhausted. He's ready to sim through to the end of the season already and get this year over with.
Yeah, he's ready to go, and he's tired of the questions. He just wants to play. 45-year-old Tom Brady ready to start his 23rd season in the NFL. It's a make-or-break season for 24-year-old Tua Tagovailoa. Also looks sharp in his final preseason tune-up, completing 6 of 7 passes, 121 yards, a touchdown, including a beautiful 51-yard completion to his new BFF, Tyreek Hill. Emory, after what you saw on Saturday, do you believe Tua can carry this over to the regular season?
Absolutely, man. He's one of my big winners for this evening in preseason because of what he's done throughout the course of the offseason. And you add those explosive weapons. They're catch and run guys, but they're also guys that you don't need to get the football too deep down the field. I know everyone is enamored by the deep throw, but when you can throw a short pass to a Jalen Waddle or a Tyreek Hill, they have the speed to take it a long way. So I think he can carry it over. But the biggest help for him is that he's 2 years removed from the hip injury, and he's also going to have the added benefit of having a dynamic depth of talent in the backfield. So I'm excited about Chase Edmonds. I'm excited about the running depth that they have. So I do feel like this offense will take a significant step forward in 2022.
Tua entering his 3rd season in the NFL and set up to succeed. All right, now for your winners and losers from the 8-game preseason slate on Saturday. You mentioned Tua was one of your winners. Who else stood out to you in their final dress rehearsal?
Justin Fields, man, he was 14 of 16, 158 yards, 9.8 yards an attempt. So he's pushing the ball vertically down the field, and 3 touchdowns, no turnover. So he played excellent. And it gives you confidence if you're a Bears fan or you're looking at the Bears and how they can do this season despite having a young roster. It shows you as long as your quarterback is competent and stable, it doesn't matter how young your offensive line is, how young your receiving corps is, you should be able to have some success or at least be competent on game day. And I think Justin Fields has shown that this past weekend in the preseason. And also, how about a shout out to the Ravens scouting department? They just know what to look for, and that's a big reason why they're winning these preseason games. Not only are they taking these games seriously to try to build that winning culture, but you go out and get an Anthony Brown as an undrafted free agent who played phenomenal football all preseason long. Hopefully they can keep him on a practice squad. Or Darius Washington was someone they got last year as an undrafted free agent. He's going to play significant minutes for him this upcoming season. And Chuck Wiley was a 2022 undrafted rookie free agent that has played great football defensively for them as an outside linebacker, edge rusher. So they deserve a lot of kudos because the back end of the roster is where you make your hay, is where you start to hang your hat on in terms of building depth. And they've been outstanding in the preseason because of it.
Look at you shouting out the Ravens scouts. Good for you. Ravens have won 23 straight preseason games, an NFL record. I mean, look, I don't like the Ravens. I respect the Ravens. There's 2 teams in professional sports I don't like. I respect them. The Steelers and the Ravens. I don't like either of them. I don't. All right, I just don't like them. But I mean, goodness gracious, they've built a great culture in the preseason and a winning program and winning organization. All right, as for your losers, maybe I'm a sore loser. Who didn't help themselves out with the way they performed on Saturday?
I was just blown away at the ineffectiveness of the Washington Commanders' pass defense. They let Anthony Brown and Robinson just have a field day throwing the football deep down the field. There was so many busting coverage on the back end, and that's something that they have to get right going into the regular season. You're facing a division that has a Jalen Hurts, that has a Dak Prescott. They want to push the football vertically down the field, and you can't have these miscommunications on the back end. Otherwise, you're going to give up not only chunk plays, but touchdowns. So they got to get that fixed before the regular season begins. And also, you look at the Eagles' reserve. I'm talking about offense and defense. Offensively, their quarterbacks only, threw 4.6 yards an attempt today. That's terrible. And on defense, they only had 1 TFL, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup. No wonder they got the doors blown off of them by the Miami Dolphins. They have to be better at the second and third level of their team, their roster. So those reserves can't be so proud of what they've done today against the Dolphins. They have to be better, again, depth-wise, going into the regular season.
Yeah, I hope you had the over in that game. It was 48-10, Dolphins. I mean, that was a blowout. You're right. All right, looking ahead to Sunday, final day of the preseason. Mitchell Trubisky will start for the Steelers against the Lions, the second overall pick in 2017, trying to hold off rookie first-rounder Kenny Pickett for QB1. Emory, how do you see this playing out? It's our final QB1 battle yet to be decided.
You know, it's so weird, Hakeem, because you look at Kenny Pickett, he's 24 years old, and he's competing with a 26, 27-year-old Mitchell Trubisky. I feel like they're the same age. So if you're Trubisky, I feel like you have to go out there and establish who you are and why you should be the starter. I would go with Trubisky because you always will have the luxury of throwing Kenny Pickett in there if Trubisky is starting to struggle. Both guys have similar skill sets. They're athletic. They can throw well on the move, and they do have the ability to make a quick decision at the short to intermediate level of the passing game. So I feel like it's going to be Trubisky's job to lose. They'll go with Trubisky, but if the season starts to hang in the balance a little bit, you'll see Kenny Pickett get thrown in the mix about week 8 or 9. But for the most part, start the vet and let the rookie slowly work himself into game shape, regular season shape, before he takes over.
All right, well, you're going to see how it plays out because you're going to be right here, back here with me on Sunday, post-game of Steelers and Lions on CBS Sports HQ, and we'll see if someone separates themselves for QB1 in Pittsburgh. Emory, thanks.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.